Hello, hello.
Where are we now?
We're just sitting outside
The gallery and
gallery.
the art center.
Yeah.
We're about to go to a jazz band, like a street party.
Yeah.
What's it called again?
It's called a line.
Line party.
Line
It's like
party?
like a New Orleans big band street party theme vibe.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna walk
You
down
can
there.
actually hear like that song, that really famous song. I can't remember the song actually. I can't remember the name.
Yeah.
So that's not what we're actually listening to.
That's not. We're gonna go to
But
jazz,
yeah.
but we're gonna get up now. We're gonna have a little walk down the river towards the jazz. But we thought probably the best time to talk about our relationship to music and how that's changed over time and like where we are in terms of that and what kind of has happened over time to lead us to that point and like, you know, not just that, not just us talking about what music we like, but more about how that has affected us through time, helped us or haven't helped us, you know. But what are your interests right now? I feel like we used to talk a lot about music, but we don't as much now, but I don't really know what your interests are at the moment.
I don't really know. It's very like my relationship with music is like a bit hit or miss sometimes. So I like a lot of hip hop and R&B and stuff. But then like I feel like a lot of people do so, and I like to listen to jazz. I like a bit of classical music.
Yeah. We've been to a few classical performances, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly, like the Melbourne Symphony Orchestra.
Yep.
Even the chamber is very good.
There's some nice music now as well. I don't know if the mic's picking it up, but
Yeah, it might be picking it up more than us actually.
yeah, fair.
But yeah, it's definitely changed a lot, as you said.
Yeah.
It's evolved a bit.
Yeah.
And that's something we want to touch on, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
How like different places, different times of our lives have been defined by music. Heck, like I mean, I have this thing where I associate music to like different parts of my life.
Yeah.
Maybe even relationships, right? So like,
Yeah, definitely.
it takes a bit of time to get over something.
Yeah. I can see people going to the party, they're all dressed up and stuff. This is sick. It's gonna be good. But no, fair, no, 100%. Like, I mean, look, I went to see like a tribute show for my favorite artist last night, so that's why I'm a bit groggy right now. But I'd still associate that music with the time of my life, and I used to listen to that like artist a lot. So like, I was like, I'm not gonna like cry or whatever when this song comes on, but as soon as I heard the first few notes, I'm crying. Like, it's just such a strong association of like music and emotion for me, and I think everyone.
Yeah.
Right?
Do you want to talk about that artist a bit?
Yeah, I mean, that's Elliott Smith. He's my favorite singer-songwriter. I mean, beautiful songwriting, like insane. He's such a tortured soul. Like, he's probably the saddest person I know it's just insane, his stories and his life and how he died and everything about it, his lyrics, and like it's so mental. Like, I mean, for example, like the last song of his last album, King's Crossing, it was like the last album before he died, which is still a unsolved murder. People predict it's suicide, but some people think it's a murder. But without getting into any detail, that song, the ending is pretty crazy because he's like, give me one reason not to do it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of noise there and like a lot of percussion, a lot of like noise going on, so you can't really hear anything. And then he's like, okay, then I'll do it. It's a very loud helicopter going overhead, but
Get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper. And then what happens is, so he's asking for a reason. No one gives him the reason, so he's like, yeah, I'll do it. But then you actually slow it down and listen to it. You can actually hear his girlfriend saying, I love you, because I love you, but he can't really hear it because of all the noise in his head.
Yeah.
So like, that's the level of songwriting and like artistic kind of intent like that he has. Like, he's beautiful. He also did he won the Oscar for Miss Misery. He did the music for Good Will Hunting as well. But yeah, that's Elliott Smith. Anyways, I'm coming off
Yeah.
that, like
A lot of his music is used in like major motion pictures, a lot of like popular media as well, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, one of our shared
yeah,
like favorites is Frank Ocean.
yeah,
He uses a fair bit of like lyrics from Elliott Smith as well.
Yeah.
I mean, not fair bit, maybe just one song, but still.
well, yeah, I'm sure a lot of like I'm pretty sure he's voiced his sort of inspirations as Elliott Smith is one of
Yeah,
them. So
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you can definitely see a lot of that reflected in his music as well.
Yeah, fair. But
And like a lot of new like musicians as well.
yeah, I'm
So-
sure. But also like, the thing is like Elliott Smith not someone I listen to now, like
Yeah.
at all. Like maybe like when I'm feeling a bit nostalgic and I want a bit of that, but like maybe twice a year max.
Yeah.
And that's changed through time. Like I used to listen to a lot of that. Or, like I used to listen. I think the biggest thing that has changed for me is like I used to listen to music based on how I felt, but now I'm listening to music based on how I want to feel.
Yeah.
And I think that's the big difference. I'm always still listening to music based on how I feel, but like it's mainly like, okay, like I'm listening to Elliott Smith, I know I'm going to be sad, like I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I would listen to a certain type of music because it'll make me feel a certain way, and I want to feel that certain way right now. So it's more of a tool, and I don't think it's lost its meaning either, using it as a tool. But and that way I've actually discovered a lot of new music, right? Like what I'm doing at the moment is like, well, 5 years ago I would listen to a lot of rap, a lot of hardcore rap, a lot of Elliott Smith kind of stuff, a lot of Frank Ocean vibes. But now it's just, now we're going to jazz. After that I'm going to a Western classic, like traditional music concert. So this one is Albanian music. For anyone in Melbourne, there's a group called The Boit that runs, it's like BOITE, but T with that little thing on top. And they do kind of world music, cultural music from around the world. And they've been doing it in Melbourne since the 80s. So if anyone wants to look at music other than, your classical Western stuff, you should check them out.
Yeah.
But so
Well, it's crazy how like how much of a part music plays in our life. Like literally we're walking through and we're listening to like cafes playing like all the popular music, or sometimes like restaurants stick to a certain theme of music.
Yeah.
You can literally hear people walking around with speakers blasting music that they like to listen to.
yeah.
And like you probably like heard a bit of that as well if the mic caught it.
Yeah,
But,
definitely.
it's everywhere really.
No,
It's
true.
sort of like
It is a soundtrack to life almost, like, and I feel like people almost find it, especially people our age, I feel like you find it almost difficult to have no music and a bit of silence.
oh yeah.
But there is this, I feel like, okay, we're going through a little magic act that's happening on the side of the street, so it's going to be a bit of noise there as well. But we are trying to not edit our, recordings, trying to keep it more legit and more genuine. So that's also the reason for, maybe that's an excuse for shitty quality recordings, but but then but like I feel like in when I'm running and stuff, I usually don't listen to music.
Yeah.
I find it
I
too
see. Yeah.
distracting. But there's been like really hard runs, like also like the 24-hour run, or like my first ultra marathon, like this stuff I have to listen to music. There's certain times of music that I know it's gonna make me feel good, and sometimes you need a bit of help from that. But when you're on a trail, like in nature, you rarely want to listen to music.
I mean, the thing is, right, that is the music at the end of the day, right? Like that's sort of like what sort of, like you listen to the outside noises.
Yeah, exactly. It is
And
the original music.
Yeah,
Like
so,
everything's derived from
Yeah,
that, right?
Of course, like from the birds singing and like the trees, like the wind.
The wind,
And,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just obviously like not this like
No.
philosophical thought. It's just like
That is the origins, right? And like, if you listen to, like I think this year and last year I've been getting into a lot of indigenous music from different countries, and it's amazing like how connected to nature it is, and it still is. Like even electronic music now,
Yeah.
Like now, like obviously, I don't know it much by any means, but have been gotten into it a fair bit this year.
Yeah.
I feel like you can still see the connections to traditional like classical music and like nature, even in electronic music. The repeating patterns and the fractals, like all of that still remains. You know.
Yeah, it's
Another busker. There's
another
so,
busker.
so much,
Yeah.
and that's a good thing about Melbourne. It is such a good place for music. Like I'm going to music nearly every day, every day of the week, and most of it's free. Like it's insane.
Yeah. Yeah, like that's an interesting thought. Like, you know, how sort of different was your music? Yeah, I mean, you touched on like music taste a few years ago, but like, what about when you were like growing up?
I
like,
think
during your formative years?
I see my parent, like my dad especially, was like a big influence.
Yeah.
And like my dad used to listen to stuff before his years as well. So I've been listening to really old stuff. So like I know the really old music from Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
And he would listen to classical Hindustani music.
Yeah.
So from India. So like, you know, a lot of sitar, a lot of all of that, like all of that stuff, and I really love it, right? And he used to listen to jazz, like so like jazz, classical music, like Western and Indian.
I mean, it's definitely like who you listen to in your own house, right? Like it depends. Like neither of us have siblings, so like we didn't really get that chance to like kind of listen to the music of our same era, or you know the same kind of taste that we have. There you go. That's the sound coming from the Jazz Fest,
from the party. We shall see.
We'll just stay around here for a bit.
Yeah, have a chat. Yeah, let's go.
Have a chat. You know, and yeah, back to that. My dad was a big part of that as well, because going home, maybe after school, when we were like back going home in the car, he'd have this collection of CDs that he'd play, like Stevie Wonder, Lionel Richie, all this stuff. So that's how I actually got into those. Like that's the music he grew up with as well. And then there's also
that's interesting. Did he actually grow up in like English stuff? Yeah,
like
it's crazy.
Those stuff. And then obviously the other like more prominent Sri Lankan artists as well that I listened to. I remember like in the night he would always listen to this radio show, which is a bit like Dissect. I don't know if you've heard of Dissect, but they like sort of go into the meaning of each song.
We found it out at the same time, remember?
And like so like this was like a Sri Lankan version. This is way before I even heard of Dissect. This is like when I was younger. And it was so nice. The guy was like very like a similar manner. Like he would speak in the same way.
What was it called? Do you remember?
I can't remember, but I will find out if I can do that. I'll probably talk to him about it. And it was definitely that was a big part as well. Like that sort of grew my interest in like understanding music as well, and like why people write things and talk about things or sing about things. And like the sort of like psychoanalysis of different artists.
Yeah, true.
I don't know, like it's not like a massive interest of mine, but like it is quite intriguing.
Definitely.
That's sort of my
your influences.
Influences.
Fair. No,
and like,
for sure.
That's sort of changed as well, right? Like as you move location.
Move location, and like I remember just growing up and age changing, and like I want to listen to stuff. Just like literally anything that my dad listened to, like not anything that my dad listened to, just to be that. I don't know, it comes with the age of being a rebel, of like, you know, being in your teens and like wanting to be different, wanting to stand out. And that's been
you
interesting.
have these like sort of like, I don't know, you just said like rebel, and like the whole like Doja Cat song swung to my head. And then like you've got this like little like, you listen to music so much that like these like little trigger words that you use in life, it sort of like kickstarts a song in your head. And that's crazy. Like that's something that I mean I've noticed over the past few years.
For sure.
This thing looks
this
really
is a vibe.
nice.
Do you want to go in?
We're gonna go in. You can probably hear the music get louder and louder. So
do you want to take some videos?
Yeah, I'll take some.
I need them. But yeah, for people who don't know, the Melbourne Jazz Festival is on at the moment. It's jazz everywhere, every night, every day, every time of the day and night in Melbourne, all the time. So well, based on when this is going to come out, it might still be going. So all right, we're going in. So the band is moving away. Everyone's dancing and moving along the bridge. But I'm just trying to find Dulena because I've lost him in the crowd. But as soon as we connect, we can keep on chatting. I see him now. There he is.
Oh, yeah, I was looking for you.
Yeah, no, I found it.
Yeah.
Do you want to go? Do you want to go to the bridge?
Got separated there, but yeah. That was nice. Yeah.
That was cool.
That was
There's
really
a big
nice.
turnout as well.
Yeah, we probably can't stay in the crowd and
Record
as well, but
had a little
that
dance.
Was
That was
nice.
good. Yeah.
Are we still recording? By the way?
We are still recording. Yeah.
That's good.
I hope so.
Can you check?
Yeah, we'll check. Imagine. We're still going.
We're still going. We're still going strong. It's a bit hard to see because we don't have like a great setup, but this works.
This works. This is mobile.
Yeah.
We can do more.
This
This feels journalistic.
Yeah. I was like trying to get some footage as well, like trying to like get hands above heads.
That was a little ferry. Did you hear that?
Yeah, it was a little ferry. Yeah. It was tiny like little sounds that you can hear across the day.
So much
very
going
nice
on.
weather as well.
But it does feel a bit like I feel like now I'm suited to it. But like I remember the last podcast we did in Warburton, coming back to the city, it felt overwhelming. Like there's too much sensory stimulus going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And yeah, it is interesting. But like, yeah, like what else do we want to talk about? I've actually forgotten now. I've been distracted by the music. And that's something I get distracted by. It's like every time I have a conversation, if there is music, I find it really hard to have a conversation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. You find that hard to do anyway, like when you do something else,
Yeah, famously.
The multitasking king.
Trust me. But yeah, no, I do want to talk about how music has helped me.
We've talked about you, like how it's helped. We'll talk about you enough, really.
Yeah, no, you can go.
Yeah, really. Yeah, like same. Really, I'm trying to listen to less music on how I feel and more about like it's a bit less than yours, like like a bit less than how I want to feel. It's more like more of the Tool experience that you spoke about. Like I listen to it when I'm like doing something, a bit of stressful work, a bit of like stuff I want to get done with, and then feel like it'll just smooth things over. Maybe like as a bit of therapy as well, you know, just so that there's something on when I'm not feeling up for it. It's definitely reduced a lot. Even when I'm like going on walks or like going outside, I listen to more of like podcasts and stuff and other stuff.
And how do you? So I know the last podcast we talked about, like being stuck in your mind, so it's best to get out.
Yeah.
Do you find it similar, kind of getting out of your head by getting into more music and rhythm?
That's very similar.
Yeah.
It's a good description of that, I think. It's like it's sort of like it kind of takes over. I think that was a point in my life, maybe like same as you, like 3 or 4 years ago, where like I was listening to music so much more and like listening to it like based on how
I remember that, and that was a lot of like I mean, to put it like, to generalize it fully, it was a lot more melancholic, heartbreak,
of course,
and that's not, I mean, that's good. I know that's really, like, I feel like when I'm sad, I like sad music, and that actually helps me get through it. But each their own. But I feel like you can get stuck in ways where you're listening to a certain type of music for a long time, and that kind of that forms and shapes your identity. I've stopped listening to music in the shower now as well. Oh, really?
Yeah, because it sort of was a bit distracting to me. I think I would spend like a bit more time because of that, and like if it was like you said, a bit more melancholic, like I just go like fall into that hole a bit more. So it is interesting how like I've had to sort of limit myself on music as well.
Too much of a good thing, hey?
Too much of a good thing, I guess. But that's my experience, really. I mean,
no, fair. I mean, it'll be cool to get. I mean, we have like my best friend, like Max, is a.
Oh, what?
Well, yeah, sorry.
I'm kidding.
Sorry, I had to say it on the podcast.
My whole life has changed.
I can have more than one best friend.
All right.
No, so obviously he's a musician, so it'll be good to get him and kind of see what music is to him from that point of view. Obviously, we're not musicians, obviously, so it'd be good to see.
You're a bit of an artist, though, yeah.
Yeah, you know.
You cook a bit, yeah.
I cook. Yeah.
I've seen you play, during parties and stuff. The few ones that I come to.
That's so funny. Yeah, no, it is Max teaching me 10 minutes before the party on how to mix songs. No, it is fun, and it is in the end rhythm. I think, and I do love music that has no rhythm. It's avant-garde, random experimental music, but music I always come back to is music with rhythm, and it's not even lyrics are good. You can listen to them as well, but like it is that rhythm, and that transforms into movement. And I feel like, especially this year, I've actually really gone closer with that connection with my body and being able to move without feeling awkward or respond to music how I feel like I should in my body. And I don't know if you saw, but at the party I was just dancing just before the jazz thing. And it's just I feel less constricted about that, and that is still music flowing through me, right? Like when I say music, it's rhythm flowing through me, and that's pretty normal. And I feel like you see kids and they pick up tunes so fast, they pick up the rhythm so fast, and it is something really natural, I think. You taking a photo?
I am taking a video of the Yara. It's like a little bit of a continuation.
True.
We were here. It was a tiny little stream. It wasn't. It was a bit of a big river last week. But now it's this huge, gargantuan.
True. That is true.
Now,
it's that stream that all feeds into. Yeah,
exactly. And then look at that. I mean, don't look at the litter if I'm getting the footage. But it's massive. It's the same color. It's the same color, and like it is looking a bit down lately. But look at that. People on the boat. It's quite nice. I mean, you obviously can't see it, but yeah.
Fair.
Nice little touch on to a bit of continuation of the river from last time.
There's another river thing that I can connect to music.
Oh yeah.
So I was at the Elliott Smith concert. So the guy who runs it is like obviously a big fan. So Elliott Smith died 20 years ago today. Again, not sure if he was murdered or suicide, but he wrote a poem 20 years ago about him going to LA to find Elliott Smith and save him. But in his poem, obviously he can't save him. But
this was after he passed away.
Yeah. So, but he wrote this poem 20 years ago. Hypothetical. Yeah. But it's about I can't remember. This is pointless, but I can't remember the line. But it was about it was talking about doing something futile, and he kind of the example he used was it's like stabbing a river.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, okay.
Which is kind of pointless, And it's also, then we're going to the Buddhism stuff about. That's my other podcast. A little plug.
Shameless plug.
I know.
With your best friend.
Yeah, with my other best friend. Which is, it's never you can never step in the same river twice, because it's obviously it's not the same river, but it's also not the same man.
Oh, that's deep.
Trust me, bro.
Like the river.
I've been dropping this stuff for free, like.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, it's not prescriptive. It's more like descriptive.
No, that's what we're trying to be. Obviously, we're not. We're just talking about experiences and stories that we have, and other people have.
Is that a fucking beanbag chair in the?
There's a beanbag. There's a beanbag in the river.
Yeah. Fuck's sake. Okay. Well, that's done it.
But no, back to music. I think again, like music helps me explore these things as well, like these thoughts and more philosophical, abstract stuff. You can get in. It's almost like drone music for me, right? Like you have the tampura in Hindustani classical music, which is a droning instrument, or like there's electronic droning instrument tracks that you just keep going on the same thing over and over, which actually helps you kind of get lost in that
kind
fabric.
Of like you talking, to be honest.
Yeah, I know. I am kind of very tired today after Elliott Smith. But what is going on? There's so much happening. But I think we should stay on topic and wrap up.
Yeah, it's a bit distracting, but we are in front of a river, and talking about music. What's not to.
Is river a theme now? Are we gonna do rivers every time for every podcast? No, but I think. Again, I think I want to ask you about again, your relationship to yourself recently have been changing for the better.
Yeah.
And how has music helped you in that? Or has it not? Or has been less of that?
It's a bit more of like what I said earlier about like limiting it and sort of like kind of letting it's more like letting myself not feel how I not let music dictate how I feel, and more like let myself dictate music.
Yes, and that's exactly what I was talking about. Like picking, and I feel like it's you can actually create where you want to go, because like music affects us so deeply that if you pick the first, like let's pick the genre or whatever you want correctly, you can you get pulled towards that. More and more.
I've also started like enjoying singing music out loud.
Yes,
a lot of Taylor Swift.
I love Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I love Taylor Swift too, man.
We're Swifties.
I understand like music from like separate the music from the artist. A lot of things I do that, unfortunately, for it is a bit of a
is she
shameless.
cancelled?
No, not she isn't.
Oh,
but obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I listen to the Smiths, and they're literally like, he's like a neo-Nazi. I mean, he hates immigration and whatnot, but it is hard. I was having this conversation yesterday. It is actually easier. Look, I think people only separate the music from the artist when it's convenient to them.
It is, exactly. That's what I want to say. Like, and I think I do that a lot.
I do that as well, yeah.
But, and then it's like, it's sort of calling myself out for that, but I don't know what to do in that scenario, because it's sort of like you've developed a relationship with that sort of music, and it's unfortunate, really. But obviously when it's something huge, there is a time where I draw a line, but the lines are blurry.
Yeah, I think it's easier with things like movies, right, or like books, and like okay, cool, like I can live with not watching that, but like things with such sentimental value, such as music, it is difficult. No, it's true.
Yeah, Taylor Swift. Listening to her, like I mean, I've always listened to her. We used to listen to, like, I remember when 1989 came out, like that was a big thing. And Red.
I was a big Red fan, huge Red
is
fan.
Still my favorite album.
That's my favorite album for sure.
And
I should stop listening after 1989.
And then like with sort of like the re-releases as well of her own versions.
I actually didn't know about that until recently. I was like, I want to listen to the older ones, but then I've been made aware of what actually happened. So like, cool. I'm actually an idiot. I need to listen to the other ones. But it's again about like the type of music that sort of I kind of like have enjoyed listening to a bit more now, because I can sing it out regardless of what the theme is. Singing it out loud is
has been a bit therapeutic.
It's cathartic in a way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I haven't even experienced some kind of those things. But it's fine. Like Romeo sang me, they're trying to tell me how to feel.
No, stop. I think you shouldn't sing out loud.
I shouldn't.
I think you should
it's
stop.
like pollution.
It is. Yeah, there's noise pollution. No, genuinely, I think it is more again an expression of yourself and feeling comfortable in your body and your voice. And this is a really good thing that I've heard. Right, This is David White. I know you know David White. Which is my favorite poet, contemporary poet. And he was talking about how when he used to talk to his dad, his voice was in his mouth, in his throat, and he realized, okay, for me, he acts differently when his voice is in his body. I know this all sounds very vague. I know the voice comes from the vocal cords in the throat, but like, I think people have an intuitive understanding when someone says like your voice is high in your body and your voice is in deep, like in your gut. When you speak from within, it feels different, and the way you react is different. I've noticed that a lot after like kind of hearing that from David White, where when I'm speaking to people, I am in maybe in a professional setting or not, but maybe I'm a bit intimidated by them, or there's this power dynamic. My voice is higher in my body, and it might be actually high in pitch as well. That kind of, it's a signal to me that way I'm not in control of what I'm saying. But when I'm talking with my body, through my body, I don't know if this makes any sense to you.
No,
but
it does. Yeah. Especially because like I listen to ourselves like when I'm editing some of these, and then I fucking hate it. I hate listening to myself sometimes.
No, same. But I'm saying something different.
I know what you mean. Like it's kind of like warping into that a bit for me
Yeah.
when you talk about it. But I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. It's that your true voice that
Yeah.
is this, coming deep from within. I think when you're having a very, very relaxed conversation with a friend, that's the voice you use.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to, let's say, I don't know, for me, it's like, I want to give a speech in front of like 30 people.
Oh, yeah.
My voice is way higher, like higher in my body. I'm speaking, it's almost nasal.
Yeah.
Like it's coming from my face almost.
Yeah.
And I think that's a signal for me. Okay, cool. I need to go deep into my body, and then again tying it back into singing out loud. I think that's what it does, right? Singing out loud. It's again like I know lots of people don't have this issue. I've had this issue, which is like I'm embarrassed around people to express myself, my body and my voice.
Yeah.
In that sense.
You should be.
I should be. I know. I know. And so the point is, I will continue to do that all through my life. No, but I've met people like Sam and stuff, who's like very, very like relaxed and open, and if he's gonna sing, he's gonna scream the song, and he does not care who's around him. He's gonna scream and he's gonna dance. He's gonna do whatever it takes for him to enjoy that music. And I was like, whoa, like this person does not care like about. I mean, obviously he cares. He's not trying to like annoy other people, but he's in his body and he's in the music when he's enjoying music. And I think I've grown into that a lot more. And I'm fine dancing in public. I'm fine singing out. Like I'm still not that comfortable. But for me, I feel like again like coming from a place where there's been such kind of like hierarchy of authority, where you always know less, like as a kid, like especially in like Sri Lankan schools, just because of like post-colonial like way of teaching. Like it's always like you don't know much. You are kind of suppressed. Your voice is suppressed, and now relearning how to like take hold of that. And be more expressive and be myself. And I think music plays a big part, because I think it's almost like training when I'm singing out loud. Like that's why people tend to sing in the shower, I think, because no one else can hear it. You're in a safe space. Even you can't hear it like that loudly. And like I think people feel safe, and I think you slowly take those kind of layers out where you can sing by yourself, then you can sing in front of other people, then you can sing and actually listen to you sing, like, and then I think that's the journey, like,
and like what you talked about, like my relationship with music, getting out of like my own mind. I think like listening to music and like talking about music with other people, like as a collective, there has been some sort of sort of therapeutic understanding in that as well. And that is something interesting as well. Like I enjoy music when I am listening to it with other people more now, definitely. I think, and I didn't know that. And that's why I think it's a whole different experience when you like experience it with other people.
No, I mean everything in life is better with other people. It's like like you wouldn't. There's not many things you would want if you can't share them with other people. But probably a good time to wrap up. I need to go to the Albanian folk music concert.
All right. I need to.
I think you need to go have a nap.
I have to go have a nap. And you have to go have a nap after.
I think so.
But this has been very lovely.
It's been good. Good day.
Yeah. Good day out.
We got all the Well Society essentials. We got me ranting. We got some rivers. We got bad recordings.
And me unloading.
I think we're good.
My thoughts. And
I think we covered all bases.
And the river, which seems to be the.
I just said that.
Well, it just seems to be the new theme, I guess, of everything.
Well,
and a connecting stream,
thoughts, like
whatever, man. All right.
Cool. Awesome.
Well, thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. Until next time.